This afternoon, we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. But before we get into it,
don't stop at all. Drop this Arizona Rona Albemarle. Driver.
Morning. This is Keto with the Black Agenda Report morning shot for Thursday, September 30th, 2010. The Associated Press reports that a Florida judge has declared a mistrial for Jamaican reggae star artist Buju Banton's case. Buju was accused of conspiring to buy cocaine from an undercover police agent in 2009. We have reported before that his agent was a former Colombian drug dealer who has worked for several years for the US DEA. Jurors were unable to reach a verdict in this case, which has been moved to December. Buju is charged with conspiracy to possess and distribute cocaine and aiding two others in possessing a firearm during the course of cocaine distribution. The drug charge carries a minimum sentence of 20 years to life in addition to a fine of up to US $4 million, while the firearm charge carries a sentence of 5 years to life and a fine of up to $250,000. During this high-profile case, the prosecution revealed audio and videotapes of Buju speaking to the agent about how he wanted to engage in a cocaine deal and stating that he was also involved in smuggling diamonds from Africa to Europe. The video apparently showed Buju tasting cocaine as well. Buju in his defense claimed that he had talked a lot of garbage, quote, just to impress the agent, whom he thought had connections in the music industry, end quote. In addition, Stephen Marley, son of the late Robert Nesta Marley, testified on Buju's behalf, stating that he had known the artist for over 10 years and had never heard or seen Buju speak or engage in any type of drug business. Despite this current incarceration, Buju was heavily involved in the completion of his latest album, Before the Dawn, recording at Banton's own Gargamel Music Studio in Jamaica. The track Innocent is the album's unofficial anthem. Check it out. Because of his music, Buju has been seen for years as a defender of Rasta, oppressed peoples across the world, and it is likely that despite this verdict, he will remain to be such an icon for many of his fans across the world. This is reminiscent of the case of reggae artist Jah, whose own career flourished while he was incarcerated on charges of sexual assault, and he continued to release music and witnessed the boom in his music while behind bars. Meanwhile, in one of the more recent scientific breakthroughs of white supremacy, Swedish Democrat politician Per Wellberg claims that black Africans are genetically programmed to rape children. He quotes, "For many thousands of years, a Negro could chill out in the heat, eat some bananas, rape some passing woman or child, fight with other Negro males and eat them up, play the drums a little, run around a bit, catch an antelope, eat a few bananas, have intercourse a bit, get drunk on fermented fruits or herbs, and so on. This has been going on for millennia without any evolutionary pressure in the form of environmental factors forcing the Negro to develop in another direction." End quote. Now why should we care? Well, his anti-immigration party, the Swedish Democrats, have just been voted into parliament, and this reflects a drive throughout Europe to consolidate itself around issues of whiteness and anti-immigration. Finally, happy birthday to Elombe Brath, who celebrates his 74th today. Brath has been a leading figure in bringing African liberation groups and their leaders to Harlem, New York, and giving them a voice to tell of the woes of their life under colonialism and apartheid and the quest for freedom. He is acknowledged as one of the most well-informed activists in the current history of the Pan-African movement as a result of his long-term involvement in the cause for African redemption as taught by Xavier Carlos Cooks of the African Nationalist Pioneer Movement. Elombe's writings, forums, and radio program Africa Kaleidoscope on New York-based radio station WBAI was a leading source of information and support for the struggle of Africa's liberation, and he was a leading organizer for numerous demonstrations against the illegal regime in South Africa and the Portuguese government's control of Mozambique and Angola. These demonstrations were quite successful in countering the millions of dollars a month that the apartheid regime and the Portuguese government spent for public relations in the US newspapers, radio, and television. It's impossible to go through the entire resume of Brother Elombe at this time, but we just would like to say enough respect and give thanks to you and your family. This has been Keto with the Black Agenda Report, morning shot, Thursday, September 30th, 2010. Peace out.